Hi, this is the video for Homework 2 of Unit 3. Always remember to put your first and last name and what period you have math. Alright, question 1 says, which of the homework expressions below are equivalent to 16x squared? Make sure you find all of the correct answers and show your work. Well, from experience I know if they say find all the correct answers, that means there's probably more than one. But let's take a look at the first one and see if it qualifies. I take this 2 when it's in a parenthetical expression and I multiply it times everything inside. So 16 squared x to the 8th, well that's correct, but 16 squared is 256 x to the 8th, which is not 16x to the 8th, so the answer is not A. Alright, B. 8x squared times 2x to the 6th, well 2 times 8 is 16, and x to the 6th times x to the 2nd is x to the 8th. Well, there's a winner for you. Yes, that is equal to 16 x to the 8th. Showing our work, we're going to say something like 2 times 8 equals 16, and x squared times x to the 6th equals x to the 8th. C says 2x squared in parentheses to the 4th power, so that means 2 to the 4th, x squared to the 4th power, so that means 2 to the 4th, and x to the 8th. Well, two to the 4th equals 16. Therefore, 16x to the 8th is our answer. And C is another example of an answer that adds up to 16x to the 8th. Check D, E, and F, and I'm sure you will find perhaps even at least one, if not more than one more correct answer. Alright, number 2 says, rewrite each expression below without using a 0 or a negative component. Well, we know that 4 to the negative 1 is the same as 4 over 1 to the negative 1, which means that equals 1 over 4. Any number to the 0 power is equal to 1. Don't write 7. 5 to the negative 2 is equal to 1 over 5 squared, which of course is equal to 1 over 25. I think you get the idea. You can do D. For 3, it says find the missing information for the rectangles below. Area equals the length times the width. So, for the first one, it says find the area of x is one side, the width, and x squared is the length. So if we multiplied x times x squared, that equals x to the 3rd. Right? So my answer here is x to the 3rd. Here it's x times x to the 3rd. What does that equal? On the third item, it asks you, what's the length? If the area is x squared, that means it's x times what? That's right, x. The fourth one asks you to come up with what's missing if one width is xy and the length we don't know, and the area is x squared y to the 2nd. To solve it, all you would need to do is go x 3rd y to the second divided by xy. The answer is your answer. What do you get? I think you can figure that out. I'm going to let you handle it on your own. Let's move on to page 2. Okay, on page 2, I want to emphasize that we are not doing 4. So, don't do 4. Number 1, however, says simplify the expression below. Well, we got 2x plus 3x plus 3 plus 4x squared plus 10 plus x. Got a lot of stuff going on there. I always like to combine like terms to simplify to begin with. Here I have a positive 4x squared. Are there any other x squareds? No. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that down here. 4x squared. Then I'm going to switch to a different color because it helps us understand. I've got 2x plus 3x, and then actually over here I have yet another x. So 2 and 3 are 5, plus 1 is 6. So that means I have a total of 6 x's. So I'm going to write plus 6x. Then I have 3 and 10. You can see 3 right here. And 10 right over here. And remember that it's the sign in front of the number that's important. That tells us whether it's positive or negative. So it's a excuse me, positive 3 and a positive 10. So it's plus 13. Do the same for number 2. Well, actually, it's not the same. It's not simplifying, it's solving. So we've got 3x plus 5 minus x equals x minus 3. First thing I would do here is simplify my terms. I got 3x minus x. That means I've got 2x plus 5 equals x minus 3. I think from there you can handle it and figure it out. Number 3 says, for each of the shapes formed by the algebra tiles below, write an expression is what it's supposed to say that represents the perimeter. Go ahead and erase that D. Then simplify your perimeter as much as possible. So we're going for perimeter. That's an important word. I'm going to circle it. So let's just take a look here at A. I've got an X. I got a Y. I got an X. That's a 1. That's an X. That's a 1. That's a 1. Y. 1, 1. X, 1. And I'm going to add these all up. Well, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4x plus 1, 2y plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6. That is my total perimeter going all the way around. Let's take a look at B, because B's got something you need to be aware of when you do the rest of these problems, which is, what do you do when part of a side is covered? So I'm going to do B in blue so you can see the difference here. I've got X right here, right? And then this is a 1, this is a 1, and then of course this little tile hung on the end is a 1, 1, 1 all the way around. But if I look at this side right here, what I got is X minus 1, right? 1 is covered in part of it. So now I add up all my stuff. I got x and x. That's 2x. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Positive 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is plus 4. That is my total perimeter. Believe it or not. So be aware of that. Do what's easy first. In other words, name everything you know. Here I named x, the 1, the 1, the 1, the 1, the 1. And then I looked at this weird side that's partially covered. And I said, okay, that's an x, but it's an x minus 1. Then, when I simplified my expression, I added all my 1's and I subtracted one of my 1's to come up with 4. 2x plus 4. Hopefully that helps you through C and D. If you have any questions, please remember to talk to your teacher or the tutors in the library before and after school. Always remember, Homework helps your finals. Any questions, come see me tomorrow. Thanks again.